These are the Orbit Black Hole playing cards. On the front of the tuck box, you'll see a galaxy looking design, and you'll also see that there's a hole straight through the middle of the cards. The cards and the box literally have a hole in them. This design is going to continue to both long edges. On the bottom, you'll get the Orbit logo. On the top of the tuck box, it says 23. And on the back, you'll have something very similar to the back design. The large inner tuck flap just continues the design, along with both smaller inner tuck flaps. The inside of the tuck box says Orbit Black Hole V1. And if you look at the very bottom, you'll also see that it says, "We are Orbit." This back design is absolutely stunning. It is a one-way design, so if I turn it upside down, you will be able to see a difference. When it comes to your number cards, you're gonna see that your normal number cards would have been swirled around the outside. Of course, for your 2, there would be only 2 pips here, so of course they are the only ones that got swirled into this black hole. Now on a 3, normally you'd have an extra spade in the middle, but clearly since the black hole there, it's now missing. Now excluding the changing of the values, everything else from this point on is all going to be the same on every single number card. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You'll notice that the only thing changing is the actual number that's on them. Technically speaking, there is extra line work that goes into the swirl, so you will see a little bit more on some of those. So like on this 4, there's very few swirls that actually happen here. But if you compare that to something like the 10, you will see a difference. This is what your clubs look like, and these are your hearts. Your 3 aces have no pips. These court cards are absolutely fantastic. The way that each one swirls and the colors change, and it's absolutely stunning all the way through. And already Orbit usually has court cards that I'm already a big fan of, but this deck honestly just hits it out of the park. I wouldn't change a single thing, and that is not something I say very often in deck reviews on this channel. Simply due to the fact that there's normally something that I can find that I don't like or that I would change, and the fact that I can't think of one on this one is very impressive. You get duplicate jokers. For your first ad card, you get a duplicate 8 of spades, and for your second ad card, a double backer. And last but not least, your Orbit Black Hole playing cards, Ace of Spades. But how is this deck going to handle? The first thing we need to test and see is if it can Faro shuffle. We'll check from bottom to top first, and we'll see that it Faro shuffles beautifully. No issues there at all. Next, we're going to check from top to bottom, and we'll see once again, Faro's beautifully, no issues whatsoever, but you will also hear that there's a difference in the sound that it makes when you do that. Same as for when you do a riffle shuffle, you'll hear the difference in just the sound alone. And all that is because of the hole in the back. Fans definitely look different right here, just because you can see all the way through the cards. And that goes for one-hand fans as well. When it comes to the finish, stock, and feel of these playing cards, the finish is going to be the coating that goes on the cards to make sure that they can glide smoothly, and clearly there has been no issue with that whatsoever. Now when it comes to the stock and the feel of these playing cards, they're a little bit difficult to judge simply due to the fact that this hole is affecting a lot of things. For instance, if you're going to try to do a move like Under Pressure, the amount of pressure that you'd normally have to put on it is going to be very different than the amount of pressure you're going to have to put on these. That's because the resistance is going to be different because there's not as much card to push against. So doing things like backdrop is going to be a little bit more difficult. Card springs aren't going to shoot quite the same. Moves like ATM become quite a bit more difficult because normally I'd put my finger right here on the back, and now my finger's just going through. So I have to almost alter a lot of the moves that I'm doing to be able to fix because there's, well, a hole in the back of the cards. But still, Lego Love works great. The other one I thought of that could be a slight issue would be a move like Cascade, where if cards are falling down and it's not perfectly straight, the cards might actually get caught in the other cards now. Because if one corner of one card gets caught in the circle part of the other card, well, I guess we'll have to see what happens. Here's another thing. When I'm doing moves like Friffle, normally my pointer finger would be curled right here, but now there's nothing to curl against. So I'll have to try this or something. But again, I'm needing to now alter a lot of the moves that I would normally do. When it comes to this one, see how that one got stuck right here? Literally, there's going to be no cascading done because the one corner of this card got stuck in the circle of the other one. But if you can get over some of those weird application points like that one, then you're going to definitely want to pick up this deck of cards. The main reason being the fact that the amount of new creative outlets that you can do with this deck is unlimited. Obviously, something very basic would just be like springing it onto your finger and catching it like that. The amount of creative cardistry application at this point is unparalleled. So if you want to pick these up, I'll leave a link right here and in the description below. And if you want to check out another deck review, I'll leave it right there. But make sure to subscribe for more videos just like this one, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. This is CPM, signing off.